Hello guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a intermediate course over water bodies again. This is going to be over kind of how to decorate them and make them look better and flow with your landscape. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding on another water body down here in this open little field down here. I'm going to be removing a little bit of this grass to allow us to add in a nice little pond. And alright, so let's go ahead and get on with it. I'm going to start off by just obviously clearing off some of the area that I want some of the pond in. So I'm going to clear some of these trees up. I'll probably add some trees back here later because I do like the trees over here. Going to come over here to our grass clusters that I placed a bunch of back in one of the first videos. Now I'm going to try to multi-select as many of these as I can for now to get rid of. Very annoying to try to select these little things, honestly. But I'm only going to remove to about there. Delete selection. Going to go ahead and select some more. And I think that's good enough. So this water body in specific, I'm going to be doing a couple different things with. Some things that you might run across with. So we're going to come over here, create water body. I'm going to go ahead and make this guy fairly large here. Gonna have them try to fill up most of this little zone. Stretch them out and raise them up. And right there is probably a good little height for our ponds. Widen them up and rotate them a little bit. Alright, so we've got our little ponds now. There are a few things that I did on purpose. I left this raised edge over here. I'll show you guys how to deal with this in a second, other than just raising the landscape to cover it up. But very first thing we're going to do is we're going to add in a water feature up here to this little spot. So I'm going to start off first off by just flattening some of this area down here to give us a little bit more of a pond for our waterfall to run into. Back it up, and now we've got our little launch point from right here into the water. So what we're going to do is we're going to want to come in here, add water feature, and high falls. High falls is what we'll be using almost every time we build any type of waterfall. This is just the most beautiful looking one. We're going to go ahead and try to get our height down correct here. The way I like to do it is I like to have, see how it kind of flips up like that? I like to have that second upper setting just above the water. We're going to go ahead and go into our advanced edit. And our advanced edit is very important in this step because this is going to decide where you're going to put your rocks and how many rocks you're going to have. If you have this thing huge and long, you're going to have rocks that go out halfway into the middle of the lake to make it look realistic. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to have it dip into the edge of the water right there. I might lower just a little bit more. I think that will work out just fine. So now we've got our little waterfall here. Now what the hell do we do with it? It's floating in the air. What you want to do is you want to come over here to objects, nature, stones, and my favorite stone using under the bottom of the water is this one right here on the bottom right of page 1, top right of page 2. This stone is one of the flatter stones that you will be able to have access to in the game. It has a very flat top to it, which works great for little water bodies waterfalls like this. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and bring it up close, nice to the edge, and bring it up as close to the water as I can with it, maybe just barely poking through. So we'll do that. Go ahead and add a little rotate over here. Go ahead and add another one like right there, and then we're going to rotate it all the way so we can kind of fill up this side over here as well. Now this just gives your water a bottom to it so it doesn't look like it's floating. And yeah, that looks great. Our little waterfalls coming off the edge of that. Can't really tell from T-Bucks that anything's messed up at all. We're going to add one more little rock right there. And that's the basic way to do it right there. And all you'll do really, I could go select some other types of rocks in here, maybe something that I like a little bit more. maybe like one of these larger rocks, and I can do some decorating around this little area to make it blend in more. So I maybe add a rock there, maybe come down here, add another rock a little lower, something like that. And maybe one over here, one a little higher right there. Just kind of gives a little bit of visibility into that. And maybe one up here as well, just kind of make it feel a little bit more enclosed. So that right there is the basics of our little pond. And one of the little things you can do as well to add some scenery into these is you go into here to nature, you select a tree. And this tree right here will work just fine. Make him a little smaller and we will lower him down into the rocks. Now you add him right there, maybe one right there, maybe lower this guy a little bit more right there. And what you get now is you get these little bushes that are like entangled in your rocks, and it is just a nice little beauty thing to have on your course. Just a little bit of decoration. You can add like some little trees up here to kind of block it off. Just little decorating stuff. But that right there is the gist of waterfalls. Waterfalls aren't super complicated. You can combine like 8 or 9 of these. Like you could have it go, drop down to another waterfall, drop down to another waterfall, drop down to another. And it can look like white rapids if you have a lot of these going down a course. I might show an example at the end of the video. But we're going to go ahead and come over here to this little area. This is our other ponds. Got a little secret underwater pond down there. Don't really need to notice that. But one of the things I have noticed is you still have to do some walls the old way, the way that you used to have to do them. If I come in here into walls and I were to select, I don't know, high, this is usually the wall that I use, the high brick wall with the railings. That's usually what I use for these. It would be nice to be able to draw a straight line across here and just call it a day and have them connect, but obviously that doesn't exactly work. So a lot of what I'll do is I'll come into the objects, come into walls. I'm actually thinking I'm going to use this wall right here. And I'm going to select the longest one I can, which is this one at the end, and I'm going to go ahead and bring him up next to the edge of this, make sure I have it fairly straight. And I'm just going to go ahead, find myself a good little height that just clears the water here. And now we've got our first one. Now, this is a little thing. Maybe if you don't know this, if you hit W, it will automatically connect you to the next object. It doesn't really say it over here. It's like a hidden control. I don't know why. So I don't know what it is on console, but for PC, W is an auto connect. If you can't auto connect, the best way to do it is just kind of line yourself up from above and try to work getting yourself close like that right there. Like that's without W. It looks just the same as doing a W. It just takes a little bit longer. Be careful too when you're doing the W thing, because sometimes it won't automatically put it up to the edge. It'll put it like a little bit offset, like over here sometimes. So just be a little careful with that. So now we've got our whole little wall over here. Kind of messed up down here. You can add some rocks to cover this up. I'm actually gonna test something real quick just to see if some heavy rough might actually cover some of that up. So yeah, heavy rough can cover that up a little bit more, not a whole bunch. But in terms of decorating ponds, this is just about the most you can do. The only other thing you can do is there are some objects that you can place. I don't think they're in here anywhere. Yeah, I think they're under the objects tab. There are some objects you can place in the lake that kind of add a little bit of flair, but not a whole bunch. It's a misc. I'm actually not sure where it is, but there's like a little fountain you can put out in the middle of the lake. It doesn't add a lot. It's kind of like a concrete fountain floating on the water, so it doesn't really look that good, but it is something that you can add if you really want to. But overall, I think this is most of the things with water. There might be 1 or 2 things that I did miss. If you have any questions or issues trying to build your own ponds, just let me know, and I'll try to post a response to it. Other than that, I think that is it, and have a good day.